lockdown closer.
And you could easily see them in the market for one if they're in it in July. Three and one.
99, but outside. He's got an easy delivery. You can see why they're kind of excited about the prospects for what Anderson might be eventually.
And that's ball four. Did you see where the Cardinals have they've got a rookie reliever, Jordan Hicks, who has thrown 2 pitches at 105 miles per hour this year, and had one, I think it was one 5-pitch at bat where every pitch was over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's a pretty interesting guy, and they called him up after Montreal because he had some issues, and they weren't too pleased with the way he went about business in spring training. They sent him down to the minor leagues to start, but then they called him right back up early in the season. But he's got a big arm.
Here's Russell Martin. I think the craziest thing about Hicks is he throws over 100, and in 22 innings this year, he's got a 2.05 ERA. He's obviously been effective. He's only struck out 9 guys in 22 innings, throwing over 100. Obviously, they must see it pretty well, or it's very straight, but still.
Now, Tom Seaver always said there are 3 components to pitching: location, movement, and velocity is the least important. And I'll trust what he says as far as pitching.
Ball one to Russell Martin. 1 for 3, a base hit, and a couple of strikeouts. 3-1 Blue Jays, bottom 8. In front of 25,504 tonight at Rogers Center. Got that one up a bit, 1-1.
Kevin Pillar has not been caught stealing bases this season. He's 8 for 8, and Maldonado has thrown well in the past, but he's only caught 1 of 8 this season.
Not a bad time to go here, and Pillar draws a throw.
Pillar likes to keep moving his feet and just gather momentum. If the pitcher doesn't stop him, he'll take off. He came to a stop, so he didn't feel like he could run. But if he can keep walking his way off first base and the pitcher makes a move toward the plate, he'll take off. There he goes.
Big lead. Not going.
He made him stop.
Yep. And Martin pops it up. Albert Pujols is there, and that's all for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th. So we will go to the 9th. The Jays are up 3-1. Top of the order for the Angels against Tyler Clippard.
Genesis introduces the G70, a luxury sports sedan that comes to you. Genesis.
Your favorite way to eat Popeyes is back. Get ready for my $6.49 popcorn chicken. Yeah, we're pretty excited. It's the real Popeyes flavor you love, made perfectly poppable. Each piece is hand battered and breaded in my Louisiana seasonings. We're talking a quarter pound of delicious popcorn chicken. Plus, you'll get a side and buttermilk biscuit for just $6.49. So grab my $6.49 popcorn chicken while you can.
So, what's the most important thing for you?
Well, it should be fun to drive, but also, I've always had a thing for safety.
Well, the 2018 Corolla has pre-collision system with pedestrian detection. Standard.
Standard.
Get the Corolla that feels right at a price that's right for you during Red Tag Days. Ontario Toyota dealers. Real people, great cars.
The Angels and Blue Jays wrap up the series tomorrow. The game will be available on Facebook. This game is part of Major League Baseball's package of games sold to Facebook. It will not be available on Sportsnet TV. You can find the game on the Blue Jays Facebook page and also available as usual on Sportsnet Radio. Ninth inning. The Blue Jays have kind of bobbed and weaved their way with the bullpen through the last 3 innings. They get a 2-run lead going to the ninth for Tyler Clippard.
6th relief pitcher to work for the Blue Jays to try to close out these final 4 innings, and Clippard has been good all season long. 26th appearance. He is 4-1. That's tied for the most wins out of the bullpen, but now he's not concerned about a win. He's concerned about a save. Trying to save it for Aaron Sanchez.
Sanchez went 5 shutout innings tonight. Here's Ian Kinsler. Top of the order for the Angels. Kinsler, Trout, and Upton. Kinsler 0 for 7 with a sac fly in this series.
Tyler Clippard is 2 of 3 in save opportunities since moving into that closer's role.
In the air to right field. And Teoscar Hernandez there for a big first out as we get an update now with Jamie.
Dan, the Red Sox and Rays were tied at 1, but Xander Bogaerts in the top of the 9th doubles in J.D. Martinez. They've scored 2 additional runs, so Boston has a 4-1 lead on Tampa Bay, still top of the 9th inning.
And they did that off Alex Colomé as the Red Sox have taken the lead. Latest on the Yankees, they're down 11-10 in Arlington with the Rangers batting in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Trout. 1 for 2 with a couple of walks tonight.
David Robertson has really had a rough season. His ERA is closing in on 5. He gave up 2 earned runs on 1 hit and walked 2 batters in just 2/3 of an inning. That, of course, for the Yankees.
And a 2-0 changeup in there for a strike. Clippard will throw it anytime to anybody.
Yeah, he's got tremendous confidence in his ability to throw that changeup for strikes. He can use it like other guys use their fastball.
Didn't face Trout last night. Last night Clippard came on and faced the 3, 4, 5 hitters and got him in order. Upton, Pujols, and Ohtani may get another crack at him here tonight. Three-1 changeup for a strike.
Yeah, and you can see how well he can locate that changeup, and it becomes a terrific weapon for him to get back into particular at bats. He falls behind, he can get back in it with that changeup.
One more time with a change, 3-2.
Yeah, he can throw it again.
Like a cut fastball there when he missed away for ball 4. Third walk drawn by Trout tonight, and that's going to bring the tying run to the plate. That is the 7th walk given up by Blue Jay pitching in this game. Upton is dangerous.
The Angels have stranded 11. And they had a couple of runners thrown out at third base.
And if the Blue Jays can hang on and win this game for Mike Scioscia, this is going to be a woulda, coulda, shoulda kind of night, because they certainly had their chances.
Upton has hit well against Clippard. He's 4 for 11, but he's hit 3 home runs. He was looking for that changeup, hit it off the end of the bat. When you do your pregame studies, Clippard, he goes over the middle of this order. Says, okay, I've had problems with Upton in the past trying to come up with a different approach. One thing he can do is he can use that cutter. He has thrown it very well, and it's something that he has incorporated here with the Blue Jays.
1-1 on the way. Up and away. There's the cutter there, but he missed ball 2.
Yeah, that's the pitch he wanted to throw for a strike, because it's kind of a new pitch and it might catch Upton by surprise throwing it.
Well, oftentimes, and tonight as well, when he really needs a strike, he goes to the changeup, but he's not doing it here. Runner's going. Pitch is taken high, throw down, and Travis could not put the squeeze on it, or they had a shot. Boy, interesting. Down 2 that Trout is stealing.
Well, he hasn't been caught all season. That's his 11th straight stolen base this season. And Martin made a pretty good throw. It looked like a ball might have hit Trout, but he got a great jump, terrific acceleration. The throw was right on top of the base. I mean, you can't make a better throw than Russ Martin makes right there. Travis just missed it. I mean, he dropped it right on top of the base, and they had a shot at throwing Trout out, but Devin Travis couldn't come up with it.
And the pitch was high for ball 3, so this gets a little muddier now for the Blue Jays. Tying runs at the plate. And a 3-1 count on Justin Upton with Albert Pujols on deck. Changeup fouled back.
And he was looking for that changeup again, and that's why Clippard felt that cut fastball was so important for him in this at bat. And he threw a couple of them, but he missed with it.
Well, the Blue Jays have been in front most of the night, but it's never really felt comfortable. Things have just not come easily, even though they've only given up a run on 6 hits tonight. Three-two. Inside for ball 4. The tying run to first, the go-ahead run to the plate.
Right, he threw him that changeup and just sailed off the plate inside. So with 1 out, Trout walks, and now Upton walks, and now you have to deal with Pujols,
who hit a fly ball to center field in the 9th inning off Clippard last night. Albert 3 for 11, a couple of homers in his career against Clippard. Again, a ball on the ground, really good shot for a double play against Pujols. Clippard is much more of a fly ball guy, though, with that changeup that he throws. Doesn't get that many balls hit on the ground. Fastball right down the middle for a strike.
Do you think they let Trout run here? Upton can get a big lead at first base. I mean, they gambled with them being down by 2.
Double steal to get the tying run to second. The Angels like to gamble.
And you know what? They haven't been scoring many runs.
I really hate
And Mike Scioscia knows he's got to roll the dice a little bit because the offense has really scuffled.
I think you can justify that more than you can justify the first one. Yeah. Donaldson deep at third, guarding the line. The 0-1. And a breaking ball down and away, a ball and a strike.
Well, the Blue Jays, they're keeping a close eye on him. They got Devin Travis right behind the bag, and he's trying to make sure Trout doesn't get a big lead. But you might be creating an opportunity for Pujols to drive one through that big hole between Smoke and Travis.
Now to play off to the right, 1-2.
Clippard is the 6th Blue Jays reliever to work here tonight. Aaron Sanchez went 5 innings, no runs on 2 hits, but he threw 97 pitches.
The Blue Jays as a team have thrown 172 pitches in this game. A game in which they've only allowed 1 run, but 8 walks. Really contributing to that elevated pitch count. Still, they got a good shot to win it here. Clippard ahead 1-2. Upstairs. Clippard is the last line of defense for the Blue Jays. Axford, O, Barnes, Loop, Tepera, and now Clippard out of the bullpen. Petrichka and McGuire, the only arms still down in the pen. Ohtani waiting on deck. Two.
Pujols, a Hall of Famer. There's no question about that. 600 home runs, 3,000 hits. He's one of 13 active 300 hitters. That's hard to fathom. There's only 13 active 300 hitters in all of baseball.
Another great note about him: he's never struck out 100 times in a season. Which in this day and age, for a power hitter, is really saying something. Never in his career has he struck out 100 times. 2-2 again. Check the swing. And the count is now full. Clippard's up over 20 pitches, more balls than strikes. Trout's out at second.
This is really interesting, Dan. Now, do you start the runners here in a full count? If Pujols hits it on the ground, the game's going to be over.
Yeah, I think I would if I were there.
I would start the runners. Even if you walk Ohtani, you still got Simmons behind Ohtani. I'd start the runners right here with 1 out.
Clippard sets. They're going. And it's hooked foul. Well foul down the left field line. Yeah, you called it, Buck.
Well, it's a high percentage play because Pujols, if he hits it on the ground, the game is over. So Mike Scioscia knows that. And if he can stay out of a double play, he's got to get Ohtani to the plate. And if they pitch around Ohtani or he walks, then you got Simmons behind him. I mean, it makes you scratch your head how the Angels aren't scoring any runs with the depth of their lineup.
We'll see if they're on the move again. Clippard continues to battle Albert Pujols. There they go, and it is ball 4. It's ball 4. Don't worry about what's going on down at third. It's the 3rd walk given up by Clippard here in the 9th inning. The tying run moves into scoring position.
It's a season high 9 walks. And now you see Jake Petrichka loosening up, but the Blue Jays have walked 9. The previous high, they had 8 walks in that doubleheader against Cleveland in Game 2.
And we have a pinch runner at first. Michael Hermosillo is running for Albert Pujols. That's the go-ahead run, and that's obviously the percentage play. And now here's Ohtani, who popped up against Clippard to end last night's game. Man, oh man, the Blue Jays made life difficult on themselves tonight with the walks.
They've only allowed 6 hits, and they made some good defensive plays. They threw out a runner at third twice in the same inning.
Down low for ball one. Petrichka getting ready in a hurry. Clippard got the first out, got Kinsler on a fly ball to right field. 3 consecutive walks have loaded the bases. Broken bat into center field. That's a base hit. 1 run is in, and here comes the tying run. Ohtani and the Angels have tied it in the 9th.
Too many walks. You just can't continue to walk the Angels because somebody's going to get a hit sooner or later. 9 walks, a season high, given up by the Blue Jays, and it costs them here in the 9th.
And he did a great job, Buck, not trying to do too much with a pitch that was off the outside corner.
Shatters his bat. Trout comes in to score. He walked. Right behind him, Upton. He walked as well. And the Angels tied up with 2 here in the 9th.
And Clippard, who gave up the grand slam a few days back to Oakland, blows the save tonight against the Angels. And now the Blue Jays have to bring the infield in. First and third, just 1 out. Tie game in the 9th inning. And the batter was Andrelton Simmons. You know, we talked about it a few times. It just never felt like a comfortable lead. Outs were so hard to come by, it seems, all through the game for the Blue Jays tonight. And eventually it caught up to them here in the 9th inning.
Ohtani's hit, just the 3rd hit with runners in scoring position for the Angels tonight. They're 3 for 12.
Runner goes from first. Strike taken, and in there without a throw at second is Ohtani. If he's credited with a steal there, it'll be his first steal in the big leagues. Simmons is 1 for 4 on the night. And they do credit Ohtani with a stolen base. Awkward swing. 0-2.
Yeah, he was looking for an off-speed pitch. He got a fastball, and then he kind of panicked and went after it to put it in play and was late. Watch the awkward swing here. You can see he was expecting an off-speed pitch and got the heater.
And a ground ball will sneak into center field through the drawn-in infield, and 2 more runs will come in to score. 3 walks and then a pair of 2-run singles, and the Angels have scored 4 times here in the 9th inning.
The walks are all cashed in here in the 9th inning. Kinsler made the first out of the inning, and then Clippard had trouble throwing strikes. Jake Petrichka will come in to try to put out the fire here.
5-3 Angels now, top 9.
Your favorite way to eat Popeyes is back. Get ready for my $6.49 popcorn chicken. Yeah, we're pretty excited. It's the real Popeyes flavor you love, made perfectly poppable. Each piece is hand battered and breaded in my Louisiana seasonings. We're talking a 1/4 pound of delicious popcorn chicken. Plus, you'll get a side and buttermilk biscuit for just $6.49. So grab my $6.49 popcorn chicken while you can.
Welcome home, where creativity is unlimited, and there are unlimited ways to connect. Home is where families come together, and no other connection feels quite like home. With Rogers Unlimited Ignite Internet, the possibilities are unlimited. And now, You can also get a Samsung Galaxy Tab E on us.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, scene of the greatest spectacle in racing.
If racing is a religion, Indianapolis, it's temple.
That's when you put everything on the line. You can't get through without scared.
Oh, we got a crash! He hits the wall! It's a drag race! They're side by side! He got it! He got it!
Winning Indy means immortality.
Clifford's lack of control is his undoing. Neither of the base hits were hit hard at all, but it was having those men on base in front of the hits, Buck, that really caused the problem.
Absolutely. Both Ohtani's hit and this hit by Andrelton Simmons, not really hit hard, but right up the middle. It beats the defense, and Simmons picks up 2 more RBIs.
And here's Jake Petrichka, the 7th reliever out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays tonight.
Yeah, this all started because Axford was allowed to face just 3 batters. He gave up 3 hits, but they were all kind of soft singles. And one was a fly ball that dropped in left field. He was out of the game. And they would eventually use O to close out that game. Barnes, Loop, and Tepera all pitched in the 7th.
And again, you feel the absence of Roberto Osuna, who, of course, would be on in a situation like this. Still on administrative leave. It's been extended through Monday, and it could continue to be extended. No details coming out, and just a cloud of uncertainty about his future.
Yeah, and I don't think the Blue Jays are optimistic about his return anytime soon.
Now suddenly the Angels have the lead, and Blake Parker is looking at a potential save situation.
And Parker's loosening up for the Angels, and he's 2 for 2 in his limited save opportunities. But Mike Scioscia's had to patchwork that last inning.
Foul ball.
Boy, that looked like a fair ball. Looked like it bounced right over the base, and Dino Ebel, the third base coach, reacted to it. Watch this ball where it hits. It's fair, and it went right over the corner of the base. That's a fair ball.
I think you're right.
But that is not a reviewable play, as the umpire had it in front of him. And Mike Scioscia has given it to the umpires. He's fighting for his players. That looked like a double for sure.
And he's got as good a look as anybody looking down the third baseline from the dugout on the right side of the field. A 4-run 9th inning. 3 walks, 2 hits, and it's 5-3 Angels. Well, the Blue Jays went through a tough one like this, although it happened in the 8th inning back on the weekend against Oakland on Saturday. And now just 4 days later, another extremely tough late game situation. They were 2 outs away from winning with the bases empty. And the walks were Tyler Clippard and the Blue Jays undoing. Here's a base hit into left field.
Another broken bat base hit for the Angels, and they just keep putting the bat on the ball. The ball keeps falling for him. Zach Cozart, he had that bat shattered. All he was left was a handle. And he gets a base hit. Pujols worked the walk in this inning, and he was lifted before they pitch it. Watch this bat. I mean, the thing just explodes as Cozart gets a base hit. So the Angels, they have had good at bats. They've taken the walks, and they've capitalized with some key hits.
And the 8th Angel to come to the plate. Here in the top of the 9th inning is Martin Maldonado, who's 1 for 4, had an RBI single back in the 6th inning.
Big innings have been a real problem for the Blue Jays lately. On Sunday, they had a 4-run 5th inning against them and a 4-run 6th inning. And of course, on Saturday, the 5-run 8th inning. Runs late in games been very costly for the Blue Jays. Friday night, they gave up 2 more runs in the 7th inning. And it was one thing they were very good at early on, is outscoring the opponents from the 7th inning on, but it's caught up to them lately.
And tonight, I don't think you could say is really a wear and tear situation, although they had to use a lot of guys. It's just the outs were too hard to come by. Too many pitching changes, too many walks. And they just gave the Angels too many opportunities. And finally, in the 9th inning, after failing to capitalize all night long and leaving 11 men on, as you had said, finally the Angels took advantage here in the 9th.
Yeah, you just know with so many good hitters in their lineup that sooner or later somebody's going to come up with a big hit. And the first one was Ohtani. The 9 walks, Dan, excuse me, the 9 walks are the most the Blue Jays have had in a game since July 16th last year at Detroit. And that was an extra inning game. They got into the 11th inning and they walked 9. Tonight they walked 9 in regulation.
And they're closing in on throwing 200 pitches in this game. And a swing and a miss. Maldonado strikes out, 2 down. So now the number 9 hitter, Cole Calhoun, is up. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, which is not something we thought we were going to have to say in this game tonight. It is the bottom third of the order. Gio Urshela, Curtis Granderson, Devin Travis scheduled. We saw Kendrys Morales holding a bat while seated in the dugout, so presumably he'll get a chance to come up at some point. Here's a chopper. That ball is foul. All of a sudden, all that good work by the Angels bullpen that looked like it wasn't doing much more than keeping them close looks pretty big right now. 3 hitless innings for Johnson and Anderson.
Anderson's in line for his first big league win.
Chopper towards first. Here comes smoke. And that'll finally be all, but not before the Angels take advantage of 3 walks, score 4 runs. Ohtani and Simmons, big hits. Parker coming on the bottom of the 9th. Angels up 5-3.
There was a time in this great land when the word super used to mean something. It meant something to him and her and this lady. It was reserved for heroes and big games. You see, super isn't something you buy in 6 easy payments. No. Super is fresh produce that goes on forever, like summer camp friendships. It's Okanagan pears and apples crisper than the crack of a bullwhip. Giddy up. And super is prices so low you say, oh, what the heck, Karen, have some shrimp with that steak. And bed linen's so soft you'll wonder, where are the fondue pots? And then, there they are. That's what super means to us. And deep down, you know it means something to you too. Real Canadian Superstore. Truly super.
Tomorrow,
Chewy, relax.
See you tomorrow.
Sportsnet presents the new baseball podcast. A Swing and a Belt with Dan Shulman. Going behind the scenes with personal stories from the game. A Swing and a Belt with Dan Shulman. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Just like that, the Angels have a lead going to the bottom of the ninth, up 5-3, and Blake Parker's on looking for the save.
Parker, 33 years old now, and he has spent time with the Cubs, Seattle, and New York last year, and he is on trying to pick up his third save. Excuse me, he's 2 for 2 in save opportunities. Luis Valbuena comes into the ball game and takes over at first base for Pujols, who was lifted for the pinch runner.
And Dwight Smith will pinch it for Gio Urshela to lead it off for the Blue Jays and take down and away for ball one. Smith, Granderson, and then Travis Dew up, but again, Kendrys Morales could be in play. Just outside, 2 balls and no strikes. If you're just joining us, the Blue Jays held a 3-1 lead going to the 9th inning, and then Tyler Clippard walked 3 and then gave up a broken bat 2-run single to Shohei Ohtani, and then a ground ball base hit to Andrelton Simmons through a drawn-in infield that scored 2 more, and the lead evaporated. 5-3 Angels, now bottom 9. This will be out of play.
Shohei Ohtani, with his first hit in this series, drove in a pair. Broke his bat, but got enough on it to drive it into center, and then right behind him, Andrelton Simmons had to base it up the middle.
And that's outside. 3 balls and a strike. Kendrys Morales hoping for a shot. He's been hot the last couple of games. Curtis Granderson's on deck.
Morales with 5 hits in his last 3 games.
This ball's ripped into center field, and it's down for a base hit. Leadoff man aboard, and the tying run coming to the plate.
Dwight Smith Jr. with his first pinch hit of the season gets things going for the Blue Jays. Boy, he had a good swing at that pitch. Took a couple of pitches off the plate outside. Gets a 4-seam fastball. And I mean, rips it into center field on a line. He got after that fastball pretty well.
So he's at first, nobody out, and here's Curtis Granderson, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
Isn't it interesting how managers know that 3 outs in the 9th are much more difficult than 3 outs in the 6th, 7th, or 8th? It takes a special guy to be able to come into a ball game when the decision is on the line.
Fastball swung on and missed. 1-1 now on Granderson.
There have been some great setup guys that try to transition into the closer's role and couldn't handle it.
And there have been some guys who don't have quote-unquote closer stuff, don't look like closers, who have done a great job because they've had the intestinal fortitude to do it. Yes, he did, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, one of the guys that comes to mind when you talk about that is Doug Jones. The guy that pitched for the Indians and the Brewers. He just flipped it up there, and he didn't have overpowering stuff and used his changeup a lot. But boy, he loved pitching in the 9th inning.
Remember Jeff Montgomery with the Royals, had over 300 saves. Another guy who didn't blow people away but did a great job. 1-2 on Granderson. He represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 9th. Swung on, line to right field. Calhoun can't get it. And it's by him to the fence. Smith on his way to third will be held. Granderson standing at second base.
We have talked about the outfield for the Angels, how they bunched everybody up the middle. They give up the lines. Calhoun's a terrific defender, but he was way over in the power alley in right center. So when Granderson pulls this ball, look where Calhoun is to start. Back by the 375 mark. He had a long run, and then he makes a bad decision to dive for it. That allows Granderson to end up at second. They stop Smith at third because there's nobody out. And you've got the 2 runs in scoring position that will tie the game up. When Calhoun left his feet, it gets by him and goes all the way to the fence. But Smith had to make sure he was safely down before he took off, and he goes to third, and Granderson ends up at second.
So the tying run is in scoring position with nobody out. And as Mike Scioscia looks at what the possibilities are, John Gibbons has gone to his bench again. Kendrys Morales, who's been hot lately, is batting for Devin Travis.
He has been hot. Of course, he had a home run last night as part of a 2-hit game. Had 2 hits in each of his last 2 games and 5 hits over his last 3.
Just outside for ball 1. Well, can they somehow find a way to pull it out after giving up 4 runs in the top of the 9th?
Kendrys is 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter this season.
Lays off 2-0. And has Parker backed himself into a fastball count against a fastball hitter?
He has, but I don't think he's going to throw him a fastball. It's 2-0. And the Angels know Morales as well as anybody. He played for them. And he will chase a pitch, and I wouldn't be surprised if they throw him another splitter.
He did, and he catches the bottom end of the zone, 2-1.
Yeah, I don't think you can put yourself into a fastball count to a dead red fastball hitter like Morales.
Dwight Smith Jr. began the inning with a base hit. Curtis Granderson doubled him to third. Nobody out. Jays down 2. 2-1. Check swing foul off 2-2. Still hasn't thrown him a fastball.
Now, Morales has 3 career pinch hit home runs. And as we mentioned, Mike Scioscia knows Morales as well as anybody. And you just can't allow him to beat you on a fastball. He's anxious to hit. Be careful.
High in the air to right center field. Pretty well hit. Off the wall. Smith in to score. Granderson went back to tag and stops at third on a single off the center field fence. That brings the Blue Jays within a run, but does not tie it, Buck.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They threw him 1 fastball, and he hits it off the wall in center. And there's still nobody out. But he came within inches, and now everybody's going back to tag up. And Granderson tags. He comes to third. Now Luis Rivera is going to stop him right away because they got the ball back in very quickly to the cutoff man. That's his first pinch hit of the season. He's now 1 for 6, but that's a huge RBI.
And once he went back to tag, he had to be stopped at third. Now it's up to Hernandez. Still nobody out. And it's 5-4. Down and away, ball 1. That's why Morales is at first, because he thought it was gone. And he's still there. No pinch runner. The only available position player the Blue Jays have is Luke Maile.
They have used Maile to pinch run in the past. He ran for Smoke the other day.
And I wonder if Morales had gotten to second, as he should have, if Maile would be pinch running, or somebody would be pinch running right now. But that's a potentially costly play by Morales. Give him credit for the hit, but he watched it for a while, and it didn't get out of the ballpark. High fly ball right field. Calhoun's got 6 assists. Tagging at third, Granderson. Here he comes. The throw is in time to get him.
Garbage.
7th outfield assist on the year for Cole Calhoun. 2 down now. Morales went to second on the play.
The Angels outfield now has 14 outfield assists, the most in the majors, and Cole Calhoun leads the majors with 7. He was tied with 4 others before this throw. Boy, he sets up perfectly, unloads, and then fires a strike to Maldonado, who puts the tag on Granderson before he can touch home. The ball wasn't that deep in right, but you got to take a shot, make them throw you out, and they did.
And now, interesting, Mike Scioscia is going to put Josh Donaldson on. They don't see the winning run put on very often, but Scioscia will put Donaldson down at first, and Parker will face Smoke.
This happened early in the season to Smoke when the Yankees walked Donaldson to get to Smoke, and he beat him with a home run off David Robertson.
Jose Alvarez is up in the pen. Blue Jays now suddenly down to their final out. With a tying run at second and the winning run at first. Smoke's 0 for 3, been hit by a pitch.
Seriously?
Cole Calhoun's got a terrific arm, and he throws it all the way on the fly to Maldonado, who puts a tag on Curtis Granderson. A terrific throw, his 7th of the season. That leads the majors.
Outside and a 2-0 count on Smoke. There's Maile. And again, it's still Morales out at second. And Smoke comes up with a base hit.
Oh, it's frustrating. No clue where it's from.
Morales will have a tough time scoring.
Yeah, he sure will.
Yeah.
And Maile, he's not a real burner, but he's a better runner than Morales.
And again, if Morales gets to second on the ball off the wall, then on the fly ball, he's a third right now. Then you don't have to worry about it. A base hit would score him for sure. But Blue Jays have gotten one, but boy, this could have looked much different than it does right now. They are not done yet, though. 2-0. And there's a strike over the outside corner, and just like he would not give in to Morales until the very end, and it cost him, he hasn't given in yet to Smoke.
He throws that splitter almost a third of the time to left-handed hitters.
Shortstop Simmons playing right behind Morales out at second. Kinsler way out in right field if Smoke pulls the ball in his direction. Valbuena playing deep at first. Way behind Donaldson. 2-1. Fastball fouled off to the left, 2-2. And now the Blue Jays are down to their final strike. Angels with 4 in the top half. The Blue Jays have scored 1 thus far in the bottom half. The Morales single driving in Dwight Smith Jr. Granderson thrown out at home on a great throw by Cole Calhoun. And it's still a 1-run game.
got to expect that they're going to throw another splitter here to Smoke. He hasn't been real aggressive with his fastball. I was a little surprised he threw Morales a fastball.
Tying run at second, winning run at first. 2 down. And the 2-2. It is a splitter, a swing and a miss, and the Angels will win it. The Blue Jays give up 4 in the top of the 9th. Threaten to do big damage in the bottom of the 9th, but only get 1 run across. And another crushing defeat. Their second in a week. As Clippard has a tough night, and the Blue Jays can't get all the way back in the bottom of the 9th.
9 walks came back to haunt the Blue Jays for sure. All 3 walks in the 9th inning came in to score for the Angels. But again, it was a base running mistake by Morales that may have changed the fortunes of that 9th inning for the Blue Jays. He thought he hit it out of the ballpark. It didn't go out of the ballpark. He ended up at first base, and they could only score 1 run on 3 hits in the 9th inning, and they strand a couple of base runners.
Well, a lot to talk about after a disappointing night of baseball. Blue Jays Central's coming up. Jamie Campbell, Joe Siddall, Kevin Barker coming your way.
Yes, Dan, lots to discuss indeed. This is a bit of a heartbreaker considering the Blue Jays held a 3-1 lead going into the top of the 9th. The Angels rallied, as you saw, and then off the bat, it appeared that Morales had walked this thing off as he comes off the bench. But it turns out that they fall a run short, so let's assess it with Kevin and Joe. Beginning with the bottom of the 9th, what do we make of what transpired there? It all started with Dwight Smith Jr. coming off the bench with a base hit. I know it's a short sample, but every time I see him in the major leagues, he's hitting.
Well, he's doing everything he can to stay here, no question. Of course, the Blue Jays are going to have to make decisions pretty soon, but I think when we look back at this inning, the first thing we have to look at is that play by Curtis Granderson from second base. The ball went deep off the right center field wall, but the problem here is that when there are nobody out, you have to be very careful and make sure if somehow this ball is caught, and you got two good outfielders out there, if it's caught, you have to make sure you tag and get to third base. So that's what Granderson was guarding against. Now, can you be off the base a bit, and if somebody makes a jumping catch into the wall, get back and tag and get there? I still think he only gets to third base. He's not going to score in the play. It's a tricky play for a base runner, so I think the right thing was done. This is the one I think Curtis Granderson will have to think twice about. This is not a very deep fly ball. Cole Calhoun is one of the best outfield arms in the game. That's his 7th outfield assist that leads all of Major League Baseball. If it was medium depth, I would have tested it, but not with Josh Donaldson and Justin Smoke coming out.
Yeah, the guys on the on-deck circle for me is the big deal. It's you have to pick your times to test guys' arms. Calhoun, we mentioned that when it went up. What were we saying? Guys got a great arm. Do you test it? Do you not go? They decided on going. To me, you have to. I'm with Joe. You have to let the guys behind you dictate the outcome of the game. They're your 2 best hitters, right? Yeah. You have to let them come up.
Go back to the drive by Morales and tip your cap, I guess, to Mike Trout. We talk extensively about how good he is as a ball player. But this is not his home park. The way he played that carom and got the ball in was quite impressive.
And we always talk about opposing outfielders coming into this building. It's artificial turf. The surroundings are very different than most. And he's a guy that I'm sure came to town in game 1 of this series and checked everything out. And, of course, he's played here before, but he played this ball off the wall absolutely perfectly, and that's what Curtis Granderson knows that he's dealing with. That's why you have to be careful. You got 2 pretty good outfielders out there. What if Trout goes flying up into that wall and makes the catch? So he's making sure he gets to third, but Trout played it perfectly.
Okay, well, Granderson to me is a faster runner than most Blue Jay runners. If you can get maybe a bigger secondary lead, get off a little bit, you can still go back to second base and tag up. I just think they could have pushed the envelope there maybe a little bit more than with the standing on third base, the ball hit to Calhoun. It's just a lot going on. I think they had their fastest runner in the right position. Just to me, he took the wrong chance at the wrong time, right?
So the reason that the Blue Jays had to try and rally in the bottom of the 9th is because Tyler Clippard comes in, gets the first out in Ian Kinsler, and then walks 3 consecutive batters, gives up 2 singles after that. The guys in the bullpen have been used extensively so far this year. Should we have expected a meltdown at some point, Joe?
Well, I'm not sure you're calling it a meltdown, but that's twice in the last 2 days by Tyler Clippard.
That's 3 straight walks, though.
Well, and it's Tyler Clippard, so yes, that may be an accurate word. And I think the problem here is that Now you're calling upon 3 veterans that you signed in the offseason, Axford, Clippard, and O, to come in, and basically one of them has to fill the closer's role. Well, John Gibbons has handed it to Tyler Clippard for now. He earned a second save last night. But I think what you're seeing here are the consequences of these heavy workloads early in the season. And now you're asking guys who you were hoping to bridge a gap as veterans and fill some late innings. Not closing innings, though.
Yeah, you got a closer, too, trying to finesse his way through the 9th inning, right? Most closers have power. They're running through it with 98, 99. When Clippard runs out 91 with a changeup, it's very hard to be consistent and always be perfect with location.
The absence of Roberto Osuna certainly felt on this night. Let's take you up to the broadcast booth where we find Dan and Buck. Dan, take it away.
All right, guys, thank you. And I think you guys broke it down very well. I mean, a lot to talk about in this game, and not having Osuna in the 9th inning has hurt them a couple of times. Clippard in the 9th inning, who's by and large done a really good job for the Blue Jays this year, but the walks in the 9th inning, 3 in a row after he had gotten Kinsler for the first out. The Blue Jays had dodged some problems on a number of occasions earlier in the game. They just gave the Angels too many chances.
They sure did. And the Angels have a good ball club, and we know that. When you look at the names in the lineup, you say, how are they not scoring any runs? And tonight they took advantage of it. When you walk 9 guys, you expect to lose. I don't care what the score is, but you're giving the other team so many opportunities. And, yeah, there's a lot of questions about the base running right there, but probably the most important piece of base running was the fact that Morales didn't run out of the box on the ball that hit off the wall. You know what? I mean, he's hit a lot of home runs. He felt like he hit that one out of the ballpark, but you've got to make sure that you run it out. If it does hit off the fence, then you're going to be at second base anyway. But you can see he thinks he hit it out of the ballpark, but he didn't. And that's going to cost you 90 feet. And that would change everything in this whole inning because he gets to second base. Yeah, Granderson probably still gets thrown out, but it certainly makes it more challenging for the Angels if he gets to second base in that situation. But Cole Calhoun's got a great arm. I still think you challenge the guy in right field. You don't wait on another hit. You got your fly ball. You make him throw you out, and he did. And that's just, you got to tip your cap to Cole Calhoun.
And second, really devastating defeat for the Blue Jays in less than a week. Saturday giving up 5 in the 8th. Tonight giving up 4 in the 9th. And they got to turn it around in a hurry. Got a day game against the Angels to decide the series tomorrow. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Dan and Buck. Yes, a devastating loss to be sure, but made it interesting at the end, that's to be certain. And Tyler Clippard has a rough outing. I wonder if we'll see someone else given the opportunity to close in the 9th inning.
I think we're getting,
if it occurs tomorrow.
Well, and I think we're getting to a point now. It's bullpen by committee, and they love to have roles, but they just can't do it right now with the guys involved.
Yeah, starters go deeper. How about that? Yeah, that solves everything. If your starter goes deeper, you won't have to worry about who's pitching.
It's as simple as that, right?
Perfect, yeah.
All right, so join us Friday when the Blue Jays end up in Philadelphia. Sam Gaviglio taking the mound in the opener there. Let's take you out to Regina. Jeff Merrick and the 100th MasterCard Memorial Cup.
We're getting another look up close and personal with Stuart Skinner, who's been quite the story so far in this year's edition of the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Robert Thomas of Hamilton knows that all too well. Fired 8 pucks on Stuart Skinner on Monday. Skinner turned away all 8, 54 in total, in a 2-1 loss at the hands of the Hamilton Bulldogs. Jeff Merrick, Colby Armstrong, and Todd Warner. Thoughts on Stuart Skinner so far tonight, Colby?
Well, I think Todd hit it right on the head. He's at the start of the show. He's got the disposition for the position. Yes. It's a great line, and watching him tonight, you know, the stakes are high for him, and his team, I don't think has performed particularly super well at this tournament, but he has, and he has again tonight. And it took a great power play execution by the Regina Pats to beat him here tonight, but just calm, cool, collected, really just lets the puck hit him.
One thing I'll say is you can see there's been a concerted effort by the Pats to get to him, like get in his sight lines, get in the body. You saw Steele beat him from distance early in the game, and then get in the blue paint, get on top of him. Looked like what should have been a penalty shot at the time, but so the Pats are trying to get it in his eyes, obviously.
It's an outstanding netminder, Stuart Skinner of the Swift Current Broncos. And Monday night in that 54-save performance by Stuart Skinner, Edmonton Oilers Twitter was ablaze. The Oilers fan think they found the solution to all of their problems in net, and they may have. He's an Edmonton native, drafted by the Edmonton Oilers. Let's learn more now about what all the buzz is about.
Skinner was on his way. He's got to go back. Thomas has a breakaway. Thomas stopped again by Skinner. Are you kidding me?
that's one of those performances on this stage. I don't think I've seen a goalie performance like that at this tournament.
One of the great goaltending performances of the past few years here at the MasterCard Memorial Cup.
You just kind of get in that zone. You just kind of feel that focus in your mind. You feel that focus in your body that, you know, everything's just kind of working for you. And, you know, I've been grateful that I've been able to get in that zone a few times.
How about Lethbridge and Swift Current? Swifty is all in on a huge deal. Stuart Skinner, the netminder, alongside Giorgio Estefan, go to Swifty. Players and picks the other way.
Being able to get traded from Lethbridge to Swift Current has just, you know, allowed me just to play. You know, not worry about the outside things.
He's been unbelievable for us, and he was unbelievable for us last year. So, you know, he hasn't changed a whole lot, and I think he's just focused and ready to go. And you know, you can see that out on the ice for sure.
That's what we brought him in for, and he's lived up to it, and I think he's probably surpassed what we thought he was capable of.
And being able to come from Lethbridge to Swift Current, you know, the trade was so that I could get an opportunity to win a championship.
I think just his confidence that he brought in as well, it kind of gave us some more too, that we know if we maybe get beat, he's there.
And there is Skinner again. Wow, this is unbelievable.
Oilers prospect, they have a good one, signed him last week, is Stuart Skinner of the Swift Current Broncos.
I look at him and I see a little bit of James Reimer with the way he looks in the net, kind of a big body guy.
He just gives his team time to get their legs under him, and a big guy has composure and confidence.
We got a group that's extremely supportive. You know, no matter what I'm going through our struggles, through our adversities, you know, they're always there having my back, and I have their back as well. So I've absolutely loved being a Swift Current Bronco.
You gorilla tape that?
No.
Why?
Gorilla tape. Of course.
Gorilla Tape is 3 times stronger for a hold that lasts. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
What? Okay, careful, careful, careful.
Oh. All this stuff.
Such a waste. Gorilla Glue.
Of course.
Gorilla Glue bonds wood, stone, metal, ceramic, and more. Gorilla Glue for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
The perfect snack is back at Tim Hortons. Grilled seasoned chicken strips, fresh ripe tomato, and crisp lettuce. All wrapped in a flour tortilla. That's right, Tim Hortons Wrap Snackers are back. Just $2.29 each.
Fix Auto, the first word that should come to mind after an accident.
You know what real service from a bank means? Whoa! It means coming to me with advice. When I want. Where I want.
Ooh, love it.
It means having your back with fraud alerts. Yep, it's us. And when I'm going on vacation, I can get foreign cash delivered right to my door.
Let's go!
You know where you gotta go for that kind of service? My bank. Aeroporto, per favore.
CIBC. Banking that fits your life.
Introducing the world's first self-winding string trimmer. The new Ego string trimmer with power load technology. Feed the line. Push the button. And get back to work. With an industry-first carbon fiber shaft, lawn care has never been this easy or this powerful. The new Ego Power Plus string trimmer with power load technology, exclusively at the Home Depot and Ego authorized dealer.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, scene of the greatest spectacle in racing.
If racing is a religion, Indianapolis, it's temple.
That's when you put everything on the line. You can't get through without a scare.
Oh, we got a crash! He hits the wall! It's a drag race! They're side by side! He got it! He got it!
Winning Indy means immortality.
The 2018 MasterCard Memorial Cup. Brought to you by MasterPass by MasterCard. A quick and easy way to pay online. Fast, secure, priceless.
All throughout the 100-year anniversary here of the MasterCard Memorial Cup, we're having a look at the various winners through the various decades. Tonight, we are into the 80s, a pair by the Royals, a pair by the Medicine Hat Tigers as well, and a big one in 1983 by the Portland Winterhawks. This was